folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Coming with a really exciting post we want to share, and of course we share with you the latest in social media and technology here. This is the Samsung S Galaxy 3, and this is from AT&T Mobile. You can of course find their website at AT&TWireless.com or mobile. You can search those on Google and be able to find their data. This is their latest launch of the Samsung Galaxy series. It's the S3 phone. It's been very hugely popular from the initial launch, and I really love the phone too from being able to play with it so far. So let's get into the AT&T Samsung Galaxy S3. Okay, so let's take a look at the back of the box of the Samsung Galaxy S3. This is an AT&T version that's 16 gigabytes, and of course it has the AT&T 4G LTE capable network on it, so you have the ability to get on that network and really rock and roll. I've had several phones now with AT&T and the LTE 4G network, and I've been super impressed at the quality that comes across there and of course the speed. It's got a 4.8 HD Super AMOLED display. It's got NFC enabled, which is your near field communications. It's got a 1.5 gigahertz dual processor core. Super fast, and it's even got a 1 megabyte memory to back up that fast core. That makes a huge amount of difference. 1 gig of RAM, I should say. It's got an 8 megapixel rear-facing camera, 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera. It's got full HD, 1080p playback and recording, and it's got all share play. You've probably seen some of the commercials where you can share and play stuff between other friends of yours that may have a Samsung. So let's take a look at some of the other details here, and we'll open the box. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this an open and unbox this for you, and you'll get to see this here and what it looks like. Now, I've gotten a chance to play with this phone for the last several hours because I like to test these out, give you an idea as to what I think. And of course, we've got the phone here. This little sticker always comes on all the AT&T phones. Texting and driving, very bad. Don't do it. You can see here the phone itself out of the box, and of course, we've already got it turned on. Ooh, we got a low battery. One of the things I really like about the Samsung phone is it's got, you just swipe anywhere on the screen and you can easily come out of the standby mode. That's really cool for me. I hate the phones where I've got to push this ring there, I've got to push that ring there. They've made it so I can just swipe the phone and take a look at it. So we're going to set this aside for a second, and we're going to open the rest of the box and see what's in here so you can see what you get when you unbox this for the first time. And in doing so, looks like we're going to get the health and safety warning from, or I shouldn't say warning, warranty guide is what it is. And looks like they give you a really nice set of earbuds. You can even see they've got volume control, rocker, and probably call control in there as far as I know. We'll have to look into this, but it looks like they give you a good set of earbuds that go with it. So it's not just a cheap piece of crap that some phone companies will sometimes give you. Looks like we've got the usual power cables and stuff that you'll get to USB power and juice up your device. And looks like we also have up at the top part here, we of course have a Samsung plug that makes it, this is really nice because you can plug this in very easily, and it also travels really nice. So there's that. Let's get into the phone. Okay, so taking a look at the phone itself, one thing that you initially notice is it's a very thin phone, which makes it really cool. I find myself almost wanting to hold it like this because the phone is so freaking thin and very comfortable to hold. It's got a curved back to it and curved sides and bottom and top, and so it fits really nicely into the hand as to what it will take and do. You can see here, of course, we've got a back button and a menu button that lights up, and then when you press the main button that's here in the front, you get to a home screen. And of course, if you go different places, these areas here illuminate with a back button and a menu button so that you can do different things with your menu. Now once again, this comes with ice cream sandwich, which was the latest OS to be issued by Android systems, but now there is the Jelly Bean. And I would imagine with this thing being so newly put out that it will be able to adopt that fairly easily. Now we've got a front-facing camera right here that's 1.9 megapixels. We've got 2 sensors in the front. We've got a speaker, of course, right here in the top in a small area. And then looking on the bottom here, we've got a power supply, power charging area. And over here we've got a rocker button. What I really like about this is it's a very small volume up and down rocker button. One of the problems I've had with some of the latest Android phones is they have really big buttons, and when you're holding the phone you are constantly accidentally turning up and down the buttons, or the volume I should say, and hitting the buttons. So I really like this small button that Samsung has put on here. And going around the top, we're looking at a earphone plug, of course, microphone plug, earphone plug, right there at the top. You can see here that we've also got a speaker in the back, we've also got a camera, and we've got a flash there on the far left. And you can see here it's got kind of a, it looks like a steely chromish sort of back, but I believe that might be it, or it's a really polished plastic. I can't really tell. But it feels stable and hard enough to where I'm not too concerned about it. There were some people I heard that said it was a little too plasticky, but I don't sense that with this phone. It senses to me that it has a strong, rigid build to it. There is probably what is a microphone button at the top there. You can see the little pinhole on the left. On the other side of the phone, which would be the right side of the phone facing you, is the power button. So a nice small power button. And then coming down on the bottom, I believe there's another microphone. There's a little hole that we're not sure what that hole does, but I guess maybe there would be another microphone, is my guess. I don't know that for a fact. Now, the one thing I can tell you that I really am initially impressed with the Samsung phone is I like how the rocker buttons are on the left and the power button is on the right. It makes it so that I happen to be right-handed, but what you do is when you're playing with the phone, you're using your right hands or right fingers, but you're holding it with your left hand. So it makes it very easy to put the volume up and down and adjust it, and of course find the power button. So I really like those features, and I really like how it's set up and the way the buttons rock. Like I said, the phone is extremely thin, just crazy thin. And then if you notice, the screen is very, very large, especially compared to some phones. You can see here it's got a great key dial pad to it. The buttons are very responsive when it comes to the back button, the menu button, and all this stuff. I'm really happy with it. There's some of the buttons that have been confused on other phones that we've tested recently. The calendar is very cool on it. As you can see here, it's got like a pop-out that shows you month, date, and year, which is kind of really cool as to how it does that. And we thought that was pretty interesting with the calendar. Now, we'll go to the camera. Now, the camera we've been very impressed with. The one thing that we liked was everything that's on the Samsung is very, very fast. You initially notice that it's a really fast camera, and it's a really fast phone overall. So we've been very impressed with the speed. Now, with flash and in darker settings, we didn't use the night settings, but we had some trouble getting some really good shots. And of course, maybe if you adjust the ISO and other settings, I'll show you here in a second, you can take and do that. But we got really good video and pictures. The video we were very impressed with. The pictures came out pretty good. Looks like we got some sort of picture-in-picture thing going there. And once again, we're still getting to know this phone. We just barely got into playing with this today. So it's got a really great screen to it, and looks like we've even got face tagging on here, copy clipboard, all that sort of good stuff. And then this has the Connect that you can have where you can share pictures, photos, and videos much easier with friends. So really love the screen, watching movies and everything else on the screen. We were very impressed. Netflix, Hulu Plus works on here. So we really like the fact that Hulu Plus is working. The great thing about the video too is, of course, you've got front and back video, but what you can get into is you can get into self-recording, recording modes that you can take and utilize, exposure values where you can adjust the exposures, timers, you can adjust the resolution, effects, white balance, anti-shake, guidelines, video quality, etc., etc. In the camera mode, You can do a lot of different things where you can adjust the settings for shooting mode, single shot. If you want to take and do things like burst shot, HDR, smile shot, beauty, panorama, you can do that too. You can do scene modes like night, etc., party indoor. You can adjust the exposure values. I like the slider mechanism for the exposure values. That's really cool, and you can easily adjust your shooting mode as you want to go. Autofocus, macro, face detection, all that sort of good stuff you can do in here. Really like the camera. Haven't got a lot of time to spend with it, but it's an 8 megapixel camera. Takes really good shots as far as we can tell, and we really like it. The video came out looking really, really clear, and the colors seem to pop off of the camera, off of the screen, I should probably say. So let's take a look at a few other things that we have here. Of course, we have your App Store that you can take and utilize. Everything is very, very fast. You really notice that there's a lot of speed that goes into the Galaxy S3. It really is just whipping fast. It's probably one of the fastest Android phones I've seen so far, which is amazing because it only has 1.5 megahertz processor, but I think the memory of the RAM is the thing that probably makes a lot of the difference. But it is fast. And the thing I love about it is very comfortable to hold. It's very thin, very light. I mean, I almost want to hold it like this all the time because it just feels like a wafer to me. It's really weird with my brain and how I'm responding to the device itself. So we're very impressed with it. And it looks pretty freaking awesome from what we've seen before. In the hours we've been playing with it, like I said, the speed stands out, the thinness stands out, the comfortability stands out, how it holds in your hand. The screen is amazing with what you're looking for in the screen. So let's do this. Let's talk about a few things while we look through a few things. You can see Flipboard. We'll pop through Flipboard here and go through some of their stories as we give you some more details of the. It has a smart user interface where you can connect mobile to mobile with other compatible devices. It's got your NFC, Wi-Fi, all that good stuff. S-Beam, where you can connect and share stuff. It's got an HD Super AMOLED display with a 4.8 screen, a rear-facing camera at 8 megapixels with an LED flash. It's got zoom, is 4 digital zoom, which is pretty freaking cool when you think about it for zoom and stuff. Of course, it has all the bells and whistles when it comes to music player, video, web browsing, and all that. You're looking at, it is a world phone. It's got Bluetooth on it, of course. It's got hand-free speakerphone. We did do some Google Hangouts with it. We were very impressed with the speed. I actually saw some of my friends in the best clarity that I've ever seen on Google Hangouts on this phone than I've seen with other phones. So it worked with Google Hangouts and Google Plus really well. On the battery, you're looking for talk time up to 8 hours and up to standby time up to 8.3 days. The capacity is 2100 millihertz. The size of the device is 5.38 by 2.78 by 0.34 inches, and it's fairly light. It's super light. So let's see. Your internal memory is, of course, up to 16 gigs. We mentioned that earlier. And you can expand this with an SD card that you can put in it up to 64 gigabytes. So that's pretty huge. The maximum RAM is 2 gigs that you can have in it. And let's see, it's got the ice cream sandwich, 1280 by 720, HD display, 16 million colors with the Corning Gorilla Glass on it. And it also comes with a swipe where when you want to type, you can take and swipe. That's built in the technology to the phone itself. So, like I say, we're really impressed. This may become very easily one of my favorite Android phones that I have so far. I just love how thin it is. I love how fast it is. I love how responsive it is. And I love what it's doing for me in those formats. And I just really love it. I saw some people knocking it where they were like, well, it seems a little too plastic. It really doesn't. It seems like a very tough phone to me, in spite of everything. And I like the look of it. The look of it is very good looking. The buttons are, of course, very responsive. I can't speak enough to that. And I love this, just being able to slide my finger across the phone to deactivate it and bring it out of its setup and what it wants to take and do for standby. So be sure to check out the phone. I highly recommend it. 2 thumbs up, if not 3. There's a reason this is becoming a hot seller for AT&T, and it's been very popular around the world, especially like in Europe. They had this, I think, ahead of time other than the US, and it's sold really, really well. So be sure to check it out. It's at AT&T Mobile, AT&T Wireless. Be sure to check out the phone. Tell them Chris Voss sent you. Get yourself an AT&T Galaxy S3. I really, really like it, and I'm super impressed with it, and I think you will be too. Thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com. Be sure to check back often.